Hello everyone, and in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching how to make a rigid body animation, all from the material physics to making the object an actual rigid body to modeling everything. Right, so first, this is in Blender 3.1 alpha, but this works in any version, you don't need to worry about it. So we are going to make a new animation and we're just going to delete the light, nothing else. So first what we are going to do is this object right here. Wait a second. Right, this object right here is going to become a rigid body. So you just need to go to the object properties and turn on rigid body. It is now a rigid body and it will fall through space just like that. The higher the mass, the faster it will fall, or at least the more impact it will have. So change this to 1. So first we're going to go to this view and make it a bit smaller. Let's say this small. And we're going to lift it up by pressing G and Z together, just above the red line, just like that. Now we're going to press Shift A to add in a plane. As you can see, if we press, the thing will just pass through it, but that's because this needs to be a rigid body as well. So select this, go to the object properties, make it a rigid body and turn on passive. So now it'll just land straight on it and we have got a nice plane where the body sits on. So we are going to make this plane a bit bigger. S, X, thicker, and S, Y, make it longer, just about there. Now this cube right here will be on this edge of the map or the thing. Press G, Y and place it just over here. Move to the front of the animation, or else if you stay here, it'll just stay at that point. Move to the front of the animation, and now we are going to texture this. Go to the object material properties. If this is not already there, just press add and this will come up. Make sure you have enabled use nodes. Then make the color to very dark. We're going to place it to medium over here and make it very specular. Decrease the roughness. As the same goes for the plane, new, specular, roughness, right. Now this little buddy right here, we are going to duplicate more of these because we want a whole tower of those things. So press Shift D and then Z right away, Control. And now this is the really important part. You have to make sure it is neither too far, neither too close, because if these are going to be very close, when you play the animation, it'll just explode like anything and it'll be crazy. And if it's too high, then it'll just fall off and it won't look good. Try playing to see if it does not explode. And now that you have done one movement, do not press anything, just press Shift R and create how much ever long of a tunnel, of a row, of a tower you want to build. So we're going to do 8 blocks. That seems good. And now select all of these and press M to move them into a collection called rigid blocks, or whatever you would like to call it. Now everything is neat and tidy, and once you have selected all of these, press Shift D, Y, Control, place them at this much distance. Now as we have seen before, just press Shift R and it will repeat the move you just did these many times. You can close this collection if you want to. Now what we've got to do is add in a long path so that the ball can roll up and come down. So what we're going to do is press Shift A, add another plane, make this, before doing anything, just make this a rigid body, set the type to passive, and this is really important, you need to set it to mesh or else it's going to be very messy. Excuse the pun. Z, scale it up as much as the before one was, move it to the edge of the map right here, make sure there's a little bit of space, it's all right. Now press tab to move into the edit mode. Now select these two vertices and make sure that those are orange, and press E to extrude. Y, control, we're going to make it this long. This seems good. And now we're going to press G. Right, it is amazing. You can actually make this however long you want. You can make it this long as well, but I would make it not too short or not too long, as making it too short will make the ball come up very slowly, and making the thing too long will just up your render times. That will be a waste of time. GZ, wait, no, I didn't mean that. G, once you have extruded it, like over here, press G, Z to make it this tall. We're going to make it this tall right here. So now we've got a nice little slope. Now all we have to do is bevel this and add in the ball. Select these two vertices, press Ctrl B, and you can move your mouse to make it into another slope, but before doing that, scroll it so that it becomes more of a slope, and that will just reduce the impact of the ball, and that will not reduce the speed of the ball. We need the balls to be as fast as possible so that they can knock over all of these, or else it'll be really awkward when the last one still stands remaining. So now that we've got our slope right here, we are just going to scale it down on the x-axis because this is a bit too thick. This is enough. Now we're going to material this as well. We're going to make the base color look black, and we are going to make it look around 390, very specular. Now this will look like a rough path where the ball comes in, and now let's create the ball. Press Shift A and add in an icosphere, just like this. Before you do anything, make this bit bigger, make the subdivisions to 4. 4 looks neat. More than 6 would make your computer lag a lot, at least mine. If you have a better computer, you can do that. Make this a rigid body, active, and check the mass of these ones first. If the mass of this is like 1 kg, make it 200 times that, because that is like my sweet spot. You can make it more if you want, but don't make it less than 20 kgs, because I'll just show you what will happen if that happens. Okay, this thing right here, easy. You can see where I'm going with this. So the ball comes like that and destroys everything. As you can see, with 200 kgs we have made it to go till the last. See, that's what happened. If the mass of the ball is like around 1 kg, the same as the cubes, even if you keep it like 10 kgs, press play, it'll stop at this one, I'm pretty sure. See, told you, it'll just stop because That's physics. So make it 200. Now what we have to do is create a studio like environment as all of this is wait. We have to texture it first. Texture, base color, complete black, very specular, and no roughness at all. Now we are going to create a studio like environment. Shift A plane, the same as last time. SX. We're going to make this a lot bigger than last time. So like this. G, Z, control a bit lower than that, and now S, Y, make it huge. Make it as if there's a platform right here. What we're going to do is make it only a few meters than this little platform right here. And now that we've got this, we're going to texture this as completely black. Let it be 300 roughness. Okay, fine. 110. And specularity full on specular. Right. Now we're going to make this as well a rigid body, because you'll see what I mean. In case the ball like goes over, we don't want it falling through the space, because that will look very bad. Make it to a passive object, and now we're going to duplicate this. Duplicate R right away, Y, control. You can see the top corner right there. Make sure it's 90 degrees, and G, X, move it to the edge of the map, just like that. We'll take it a bit higher, just like that. Now that we've got a studio on these sides, the same thing as that, we're going to duplicate this, except this is going to be very specular and the roughness is going to be 0. So this, duplicate this edge of the map. Now we've got a complete studio like environment. Now what we have to do is add in a few cabinets. There are free cabinet models from Blender for free. I will put the link in the description below. So just take one of those models, copy it and paste it over here. I'll be right back. So once you have got your locker model, paste it in here by pressing Ctrl V. It's going to be over here, so you'll have to scale it down. But first let's move it along the x-axis right over here and scale it down. I'm going to make it this big. G, Z over here. Just turn this on. Let's move it a bit down, and that appears like it's floating like that. So now we're going to move it on the y-axis to be on the edge of this, and Shift D, Control Y, Control, just like that. And now press Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. Get 5 sets of lockers. Select all of them and move them to a new folder called lockers, a new collection I mean. Let's just save this real quick. Now you can do this very quickly by just right clicking S. Right click S will select all of these in the collection. Now press Shift D, X, Control, right over there. And now we are going to rotate it on the z-axis, Control, and just 180 degrees. Now we have 2 sets of lockers opposing each other, which makes it 10 lockers. So now what we're going to do is add in a light, because right now it's just all black. That is not good at all. So first press Shift A, light, an area. Let the area lamp just stay there. First we're going to add a mesh of a cube. Press S and Z to make it like a small ball. That looks about right. Take it a bit up. Now this is the important part. What we need to do is position it exactly in the middle and then scale it on the y-axis. Otherwise it will get in the way of the, what do you call that, our cube, our little cube here. It will not be able to go through this. So we are going to go to the edit mode by pressing tab, and we are going to be selecting only the bottom face, this vertex, this vertex, this vertex, and press E to extrude and just shrink it behind. This about it. So now that we have got a hollow space of cube, choose the lamp of area and press G, Z just above, just enough, like that. That seems a bit too much. A little bit above that. Yes, that's good. Now we are going to scale it up. Scale Y. This should be enough once we position it perfectly. It should just start at the beginning. Make sure it matches up with that, and yes, it matches up perfectly. So now it will seem as if the cube is casting the light, but the light is not at all powerful. It's just pointing at these two right here. As you can see, it is already very laggy. So we're going to up it up. No, that's not a word. 5000. This looks good, I think. Yeah. Now select all of these, the rigid body blocks. Oh wow, that is all of it in that. Okay, now choose the rigid body blocks. Yes, it's only these, and Control L, link material. Now all the material will be the same. There will be no difference in the material properties. So if we choose this and change the material to, let's say, a very light color, every one of them is light, or every one of them is black. We're going to make this black and specular. This looks right, yes. Change the lockers, choose the lockers, deselect this. Now we have only the lockers. Control L, link materials, and change their color to black. That looks very, very nice. Now let's add in a camera. Shift A, camera, press 0, use your shortcut key or whatever it is. If you do not have a shortcut key, I'll be releasing a tutorial on quick smooth camera movement soon. Change the focal length, something around 36. Move it close to over here. And now we are going to do everything with the camera. We're going to edit all of the keyframes. So first, position the camera very close to the cube, just about over here, like this. Let's make it follow the cube. I mean the ball. Yes. Increase the lens. Alright. Now we're going to add a keyframe for rotation and location. And just in the next frame, we're going to add a keyframe for this as well. Now as this moves on, let's add in a new panel right here. As the ball moves on, this camera right here is going to follow the ball like this, and it is also going to slowly zoom out so that all of the objects are in scene. Makes it look really good. So press play. At this point, till here, add a keyframe. Go over here. Right about there. A keyframe for location and rotation, and just the frame above this, we're going to zoom out and add a keyframe for the focal length. Now, as you can see, it falls from above and the camera tracks it, and that looks really good. That's my dream camera right there. Like, imagine moving a camera like that without any gear and stuff. I love this. Now right here, at this point, we need to make the camera track the ball again, because it's going to go out of frame very quickly, trust me. Location and rotation, and when the ball, we're going to wait for this because we're going to take it really slowly. When the ball reaches the almost last block, the third last block, yes, at that keyframe, we're going to move this. Let's make it a bit above. Yes, over here. Bit behind. Just like that. No, a bit more. Location and rotation keyframe, and now as you can see, it feels almost as if the camera has a tracking constraint, and we did that without adding any constraints, so that's cool. See, that's very smooth. At this point, we want to make the camera move out and show the entire scene, all of the destruction. So let's extend the animation length, and from over here add another keyframe, and then we'll have to increase the cache of this as well. It's 250, right? Let's play this again. At this point, we want to move the camera back to show the destruction. Location and rotation keyframe, and after this we're going to do a really nice touch where a few frames after this, it just focuses on the ball as the ball falls down. Over here, another location and a keyframe at this. And at this point, add a keyframe for this. Now let's watch the animation. The ball comes in like that. This follows it. The thing moves back and it focuses on that. That is amazing. That looks very robotic. Now what we've got to do is the finishing touches of this, which are depth of field. This is going to make a huge change to your animation. Focus on object, let it be the ball of destruction, and change the f-stop to 1.4, as 1.4 gives a really nice touch. But this is also going to give us a lot of new problems. Like at this point you're going to see in the rendered view that it is focusing on this only and the others are blurred, which is good. But at this point we wanted to focus on everything else that is around here. So over here we're going to add a keyframe for this. Insert keyframe, and then just in a moment the f-stop is going to become a lot higher so that everything else is on the view. Insert keyframe right here. But then when it zooms in again to focus on that, we need to add another keyframe for this. Insert keyframe, and we are going to decrease the f-stop to 1.4 again. Insert another keyframe, and now it's going to focus only on the ball. So we will want the ball to go. Oh, these things are falling off. That's something I did not expect at all. Now let's take a look. This looks amazing. And now we have got our animation all done. You can now render this and it will look perfect. So thanks for watching this, and do tell me if you would like to watch more of these Blender animation tutorials, and we'll meet you next. Bye.